All right. Hello, Internet. I'm kcStranger. These are a trio of my players, and this is the Crystal Team. As always, the Crystal Team is brought to you by XSplit Broadcaster and by Tractor Blend. Tonight it's also brought to you by my back pain, but we're going to work through that. So, last time, the party finished their battle against the wraith-like Quotoa that had written the ominous poem on the walls of the tower. As they defeated him, tentacles erupted from below his neck, engulfing him and drawing his body away to parts unknown. Then they investigated the floor. Examining the altar on the floor, they found it not to be associated with any of the gods. Rather, it served as some sort of magical amplifier, which the party discovered the hard way. Ultimately, however, Fabrizio helped them realize the altar was meant to channel the magic of the creation stones, and placing the stones on the altar, they discovered their way to the next level. As they entered the inmost chamber of the tower, they discovered what they'd been seeking, a 9-sided altar channeled power through this golden contraption, which they assume must be the cradle. And that power contained a shard of black crystal, name of the game, the Crystal 2. Kane entered the room first and was immediately seized by the power of one of the beings imprisoned in the crystal via magic of the mysterious clear stone that he carried. There, he conversed with the mysterious entity known as Beyond, who spoke with him and removed the personality of Tirsa Shadowveil from his mind. Returning to the group, Kane tried to convince the group that it was a good idea to release the beings in the crystal. The rest of the party, realizing this to be a bad idea, tried to talk him out of it and to get a handle on the situation. However, the damage was already done. The crystal cracked, ultimately broke its containment, the lights went out, and then a pale light appeared, illuminating 3 figures. The spirits of the creation stones, Curil, Lacidel, and Cenarian. Curil held Kane's clear stone in her hand, crushing it to powder, as she urged in a commanding voice. Quick, come with us. No time to dispute. Do exactly as I say. Up the tower, now. So Kirill commands you all and starts leading everyone back up the way you came. Is anyone doing anything other than simply following after her?
I'm
I will
glaring at
follow
Kane.
immediately.
Me and the snakes, and they're following.
All right. So as you
I
pass,
ride a snake.
brilliant. As you pass the altar on the lowest floor, Lacidel snatches the setting, holding the creation stones themselves, and tosses it to clean. Best not forget this.
Alright, yeah.
You fly up the levels of the tower. As you do, you notice that the dark vines imprisoning the floor guardians seem to have swollen. They writhe as if trying to consume the creatures that they imprison. Vines have begun to sprout on the floor as well, and the entire tower trembles slightly. The spirits pick a clear path through the tower, however, and you finally emerge back into the cave. What?
Nothing. Forgot about that
Delete
image.
this,
Yeah.
Balls. I forgot about that. Okay. It was a floor diagram, okay? Floor diagram. Yeah. So as Quizmiligus emerges last from the tower, Lacidel reports, "That's everyone, now!" And you watch as the 3 creation spirits stretch out their arms together, and blue, yellow, and pink light spills out from them. Over the course of a minute, they don't seem to be making any like spell casting gestures or words or anything like that, but they do seem to be deep in concentration. And this light sort of coalesces around the tower and eventually forms an opaque black shield that blocks it from view. As they finish their work, the tower is entirely occluded from view by this oval dome of blackness. And they turn, looking slightly worn, as if what they did required a great effort. But Curil draws herself up, her bearing and expression imposing, despite her being no larger than Colleen. And she says, "Now, my brothers and I have all our memories and our powers back. You might think that's a good thing, but that's actually a very bad thing. That means that our power isn't being used to contain that anymore." And she points sharply towards the black oval. "Other than that slapdash shield we just put up. That being said, we have a few minutes. So, who accepted an offer they shouldn't have accepted?"
Quiz points at Kane.
Also at Kane.
Alan just says, "I'll give you one blue guess."
Curil turns sharply and stalks towards Kane. "You. If you can believe it, I actually thought you had some sense inside that hollow skull of yours. But no, for someone who grew up on the streets, you're shockingly credulous. What did that creature say to you in there? Did it praise you? Did it play on your sympathies? Did it promise you your heart's desire? I'm sure it did. But have you ever considered that your real friends are the ones who tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear?" Curil's mouth turns up into a sadistic, predatory grin. "I could do so many things to you. I could turn your feet to lead and your arms to jelly. I could fill your eyes with ink. I could tether you to marionette strings so that you would move only as I
Oh,
desire."
that one.
Poor Kane.
She throws you a smirk. "The world would be better for it. But you know what? I'm not going to do any of that. Keep your freedom. And if the world dies for it, then perhaps it didn't deserve to live." She turns to the rest of you. "Now, you've probably gathered that the situation isn't good, but you might not realize just how not good it is. Whatever you know about what happened before, you're not thinking big enough. The world wasn't just destroyed. It was erased. Lacidel, Cenarian, and I rebuilt everything. But this time, Innis's power is sealed away. And even if it wasn't, the gods didn't start working together last time until the world was pretty much gone. That's why Innis sent you to collect those things. They're what we need to force all the gods together. I forgot about all this before, so I was going along with what you all did. But now, I kindly suggest that we make haste towards the Mind Flayer's city, retrieve the dragon spirit, and get moving before those knot things that my brothers and I so pitifully sealed start erasing this world."
Oh boy.
Well, should we kill Kane?
I second the motion. Well, no, I wouldn't know about that. Never mind. Yes.
Well, I guess we have little choice. On to the Mind Flayers.
Let's go.
Very well.
Everybody, let's go. Come on, let's get to it.
Curil actually sort of stands there for a moment, sort of imperiously. Finally, Lacidel, her sort of the middle brother. He looks sandy hair, yellow eyes. He sighs a little bit and says, "Come on, I know the way." And he walks down one of the other side tunnels from the passage that you guys are in.
Have we been to Do we know where exactly the dragon's beard is in this?
He looks at you. So at this point, you're sort of all walking together. I'm kind of imagining, Colleen, you might have sort of trotted up next to Lacidel and are talking with him as you walk. He looks up at you and says, well, we know the city, and at this point, the situation is serious enough that I think the three of us are going to take matters into our own hands a bit. It'll be okay. He shrugs. That being said, what Kirill said is true. You know, for a long time, I didn't actually remember much of what was going on. Well, for better or for worse, that's not the case anymore. So if you have any questions, he sort of sighs and looks down. Ask away.
I'm just curious, because if we've been there before, I might have an idea, but I'm not sure where in this Mind Flayer city it could be.
He looks over at you. Oh? What do you
Well,
have in mind?
I have been holding on to a potion of clairvoyance for quite a while. It would be nice to see what we're up against.
I see.
We have...
Your GM is going to take a moment to remember what clairvoyance does. I mean, does that actually cast clairvoyance?
Yeah, it casts clairvoyance.
Were you indicating out of character that these guys were going to just go in and blast their way in and take what we needed?
You can ask that in character if you like.
Fine. Wait a minute. Do you guys need us for this?
He looks up at you and says, in honest truth, not really.
Right.
What, Fallon? You don't want to see some Mind Flayers?
Of course I want to shoot one with an arrow really bad. But since the world might die, I mean...
I mean,
what if it doesn't, and then, I lose my soul to that demon?
He says,
we're either working to prevent the end of the world, or we're actively working towards the end of the world. So we might as well be doing something about it.
he looks back at you, Colleen, and says, actually, the potion could be helpful. We'll have to wait until we're closer to the city to use it, of course, but it's not like we know exactly where the girl is.
But we may be able to see an area around there, or perhaps even the top of the tower that I believe we climbed on that one time.
Climbed on a tower. You were actually walking on the ground in between the towers. There was like a cave.
The temple thing?
If you're
Didn't
talking
we-
about what I think... Oh! You did get on the roof. That's right. I forgot about that. He says, I mean, if you remember a spot, then may as well see what we can learn.
Should I do it?
Well, you're not close enough yet. The range of the spell
Okay.
is a mile.
Then we will do it when we come to it.
Alright. So... Yeah, I don't want to rush past this, because this is a time as you're walking. Yeah, you're walking through another of these underground caves. There are rather more of... Actually, I kind of like the look of this image for where you're walking through, so with the exception of it would be darker, imagine it kind of like this that you're walking through.
So, who are you three exactly? Sort of new here. This is like day 3 on the job, and you told me the world's ending. So this is all very exciting and perplexing.
Right, I got this one. The smallest of the three, whose appearance is actually rather perplexing. He's very dark-skinned, but vibrantly blonde hair, blue eyes, small, thin, but sort of holds himself almost as if he's floating when he walks, if that makes sense. Almost dreamy, but not necessarily not giving the appearance of being unaware of what's going on. So this is Cenarian. So he sort of floats up beside you, and actually he is probably close to the same height as you, Quizmilligus. And he says, "We are the spirits of the three creation stones." Right. So, history of the world. There were once only two, you might call them gods, but rather larger than that. There was Maier and Kowal. And actually, let me pull up some notes real quick, because this touches on stuff I haven't thought about in a while. Okay. The god Maier was lonely, and so he splintered, and from the shards of Maier were born the planes, the gods, everything that is. Kowal was proud, and from him was birthed the desire to grasp hold and to annihilate. Fast forward to time. The gods, as you might be aware, don't get along perfectly. There was struggle between them, but ultimately the world was created. Now, mechanics of creation. It's nothing comes from nothing, Quizmilligus. For a thing to exist, something must not exist. But not-existence has a being of its own, and those creatures were jealous. And thus, the struggle that you saw somewhat imaginatively depicted on the walls of that tower. Anyways, at the end of it, all of the beings of existence finally decided that they'd like to continue existing. And, well, that tower was created. That tower is, in a very real sense, at the center of the world. Simply traveling from the innermost room to the next floor of the tower is what you might call an equal distance as from the tower to the outside of your country. The space there is more just curled in on itself. Suffice to say, he waves his hand a little bit. I'm going down tangents. The point is, the world had to exist again. The first time the gods tried to do it, they fought a lot. So the second time around, they decided to make some rules. They bound their power into a number of artifacts, including me and my siblings. And the power of creation itself was vested in us. In Kuril, the elements in the material planes. In me, the ideal and astral and spiritual planes. And in Lacidel, the ability to join elements of the two. And that's who we are. Suffice to say, the idea is that we should awaken in times when the world is in peril, and should it succumb, begin the process of renewal. But as we are merely, agreed upon conduits of certain aspects of the god's power, we need the god's power in order to function to our full potential. And therein lies our current problem. With, of course, the power of Innis not being fully available. He sort of looks up. Does that make rough sense?
I'm catching up slowly.
Right. So anyways, now we have to take matters into our own hands a little bit, and, well, in order to allow existence to continue, we've decided to stretch our original mandate just this one time.
Mandate?
He shrugs. Well, for one thing, we're about to pull off an extraction. I imagine there will be some hostiles. Not exactly our gig normally.
Well, Fallon, Colleen, how are we all doing on... Well, how are we feeling? We've just went through a huge couple of tunnels and a couple of battles.
Honestly, I'm
is
fine.
marching into this good or bad?
I mean,
It's kind of what we've done all along.
Okay.
Sometimes Kane causes it, but we still go.
I mean,
I guess he calls this too, so it's not just sometimes.
I feel healthy, and it's not like I'm
You look healthy.
lacking in most of my abilities.
Not lacking, no.
Thanks for your support, Fallon.
Well,
Anytime.
all right then. If you're sure, I'm sure. Let's charge ahead.
Ah, finally, there's what I'm looking for. Kirill draws up, and you see her looking down at what appears to be a small mushroom. Or actually, wait a minute, no. Yeah, okay. And she says, and where is... Wait, did I get rid of that? I'm sorry, I need to check something real quick. I thought I had something that I'm not seeing. Ah, no, there it is. Okay, cool. And she says, all right, everyone, as I said, time is of the essence, so she, oh yeah, it's only an action. She takes a moment, appears to concentrate for just a second, and then touches the mushroom. And then she says, after me, everyone. And she steps, and for a moment you could swear that she disappears into the tiny mushroom. But she is no longer there in any case.
Some Harry Potter shit, port keys.
What is Harry Potter?
Don't worry about it.
She
Quizmilligus
just says these
steps
sorts of
towards
things
the mushroom.
sometimes. We ignore it mainly.
And as she disappears, Lacidel pipes up. Everyone, quick! This doesn't last very long. Hurry up!
I
And he
said
jumps in.
Quizmilligus walks towards it.
Touch it immediately.
I'm riding on the snake still. We slither through.
You all quickly jump in, and as you do, the world sort of seems to expand around you. But then very quickly, you emerge. And actually, let me do this. Into an entire forest of giant mushrooms. And then as you... Oh, actually, this was from before I realized I could remove grid lines. There we go. Yeah. So as you do, Laszlo says, Kirill, that spell doesn't last very long. You really should have warned everyone. She shrugs. You all made it. Lacidel rolls his eyes. Do you have any idea what we're looking at? And she says, not really. At this point, Cenarian steps forward. Just a second, I'll take a look. He also takes a moment in concentration, And Lacidel looks at you all and says, Cenarian's doing a bit of scouting for us. This might take a moment.
What are those really tiny bugs that live on plants? Super tiny ones.
Aphids?
Is that what we're about to have to fight?
Some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Actually, as you would look around, you would realize the issue is actually that the mushrooms are huge, not that you are small.
How do we know the difference?
How do we know for sure?
You see, so there's like a cavern around you, and you can see other things that would give you a sense of scale, such as the cavern wall, the occasional bug going along the ground, stuff like that.
Oh god, he shrunk all the bugs too.
Now I'm actually offended. I usually step over mushrooms, not under.
At this point, Lassell says, by the way, Colleen, I think we're at the Mind Flayer City now, so if you wanted to use that spell, now would be the time. And I will switch to my...
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
So, incidentally, let me tell you where you are. You are roughly here.
It's the only time we've ever had any
We're
kind
over
of
here?
foresight.
Yeah. Fallon.
Okay, cool.
So, you can target this anywhere in a mile. So that means... Oh, wait. I think I'm off by a factor of 10 on my distance measurements.
Your scale.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be this.
So it was 1 square, 377 feet.
Yeah, no. It's... There we go. I
Pretty
think that's
easy.
better. So yeah, so you can't see everything, but you can see a lot that's like fairly close. So you can target this where you like. And I think you get either vision or hearing, if I remember right.
Do you remember how we got out of here last time? Gnome Salt's bomb.
Incidentally, just just since it's been a while, I just want to demonstrate this. So here is the map from last time.
This is where Alistar and Halil have been all this time.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And now back to the map from this time. So yeah, I made a tracing and I changed some things.
You know.
I see there's a trail through the forest. May or may not have been caused by a dragon. Right?
Oh.
Let's go. I guess I should ask you guys. What do you guys think? Would you rather hear what they might be talking about and hope that I can understand them? Or, well, we could let Quiz... No, Quiz hasn't been here before. Well, I was going to say Quiz could probably understand them if we did that, but would you rather see what and how many, or hear what they might be up to?
I can only read any language. I can't comprehend any language.
I have an out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a scroll of comprehend languages, I think.
Okay.
I think I do. Yes. I got it from Alistar's pack or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago. I think I just accidentally deleted the weight of it.
Oh, by the way, Colleen, real quick, I just realized you can switch between seeing and hearing while the spell is active.
Oh, well then, shit.
Okay, but go ahead, Fallon.
Just would I be able to understand it? Comprehend languages?
Yes. However, the clairvoyance effect, if Colleen used it, it would only work for Colleen. So, like, the same person would have to comprehend languages and use clairvoyance.
Okay,
I
I
think
just
that would work, because I don't think comprehend languages is... Yeah, it's not concentration.
I've only got 2 fancy scrolls. I don't know if I want to use them.
Well, I've had that potion since like session 3 or something.
I've got a potion of alter self. Saving it for special occasion.
Never change, Fallon.
Alright. Have you decided where you want to target?
I want to target that temple room that we spent some time in with the weird drawings and stuff.
Oh, so over here? Sorry, let me get my hang up.
I believe it was
This?
inside the temple, but maybe I recall that
So
incorrectly.
the weird carvings were here. You also spent some time on this building. This is where you got onto the roof. It's where you had where you got attacked after you burned the spider webs. Also, you found some stuff there, including like some broken looking, like really old equipment. Like almost
Yeah,
like
that's
scientific
what I'm talking about.
Okay. So
That
you
place.
want to look in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask. So you'd remember, no guarantees that the building layout is the same, but you remember the rough building layout from before. And I think, let me see here. So it has to be a location familiar to you. So if the location has changed so much that it's no longer like recognizable as the same location, then I think the spell would fail. But assuming it's close enough to be recognizable, you basically there was sort of a circular inner chamber that, and that did have like an altar of some kind in it.
Yeah.
Where I forget what you found there. So you could target that room, or you could target some of the side rooms where I mentioned you found like equipment and stuff.
I want I think that room, because I think I made a tracing of something from one of the rooms, and that was curious, so I think
Okay.
that'd be a good place to check out.
All right. So you put your sensor in that room, starting on vision, maybe?
Yeah.
All right. So you do that, and you see. Actually, you see quite a bit immediately. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna see how lucky your timing is. Roll a d100.
A D100.
Mm-hmm. Higher is better.
Thank you.
20.
Okay.
A nice even 20.
Yes, indeed.
A natural 20.
Yeah, a natural 20.
So the first thing that you see is pretty obvious. The floor of the room, you now realize, is covered in sort of organic looking pipes that appear to like breathe slightly. And all that seems to be continuously refreshing a pool of brine across the floor of the cavern. But you can tell it's not that deep because there are, what I would say, yeah, so there are 8 mind flayers. So, if you don't know what a mind flayer looks like, your basic, like, humanoid tentacle monster who likes to, like, drill out people's brains and snack on them. There'll be pictures later, I'm sure. Yeah, but they're, like, Cthulhu-esque. You see them, a few of them are sort of conferring on one side, and a few others appear to be tending towards a giant brain in a large brine pool, held up by a number of strong-looking purple tentacles. So, I mean, I'll just give you credit for... actually, give me Arcana. You're probably going to know this, but give me Arcana.
I've failed many things before.
Yeah, so, I mean, almost certainly this is the Elder Brain of the colony. And given that check, actually, you would also know that the fact that you can see the Elder Brain means that the Elder Brain knows that you're here as well. It's one of
good.
its abilities is that it's aware of creatures within its vicinity.
I figured something like that might be possible.
Like, unless shielded somehow. So yeah, and let me see something right quick here. Sorry, I just need to see what this particular thing does. Right, okay. Yeah, alright, so you also look around the room. Go ahead and give me perception as you examine the room in more detail.
Nice.
Alright. At one side of the room, you notice that the chamber isn't quite a perfect circle. One wall is slightly elongated, and on that you see a crease of what appears to be a trapdoor. Sort of on the side of the wall, not like a open up the floor from under you and you fall kind of trapdoor, but like a secret tunnel kind of trapdoor.
Okay.
That is mostly what you see. The room. You notice actually that a lot of the carvings that you saw before, it was sort of a ruin before. It appears to be pristinely maintained now, and this is it's what you thought before was an altar was actually, you now believe, the ruins of the Elder Brain's brine pool.
Gross.
Oh, I should finally add, in addition to the Mind Flayers in the room, there are also a number of Quaggoths, maybe 10 of them, who appear to be attending the Mind Flayers. Sort of serving like a bodyguard / grunt work kind of role. A few of them you see carrying what appears to be sort of a large tube, think like Luke's Bacta tank, but like when he gets hurt in Empire Strikes Back. Their movements seem a little bit more dulled and controlled than when you were here before. Given what you know about Mind Flayers, you imagine that they might actually be in some sort of psychic servitude.
Would now be a good time to switch to hearing.
If you like.
Let's take a listen.
All right. And so as you switch to hearing, you hear the bubbling of the brine pool. You hear the Quaggoths sort of grunting as they carry the tube through the room. No one is speaking, from what you can tell, and that's when you remember that Mind Flayers are telepaths.
Telepathic, yeah. Well, it's worth a shot.
Can't hurt. And let me check.
So it's an eerie, bubbly.
Pretty much, yeah. It's actually fairly quiet in the room itself.
Okay, well, is there anything else that would be worth gathering information-wise? Any other checks that I could make in that room for that brain?
I mean, if you want more detail about how the creature itself functions, I can certainly give you that based on your check.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So in terms of just overall how strong the creature is, your group could definitely take it. on your own without too much difficulty. The question is, of course, how many mind flayers are around. And actually, as you watch and sort of ponder the scene, you see a few of them leave, a few of them enter, and starting to form a suspicion that there might be a fairly large number of them, and certainly enough mind flayers could be a problem. So the Elder Brain itself, it's aware of creatures in its vicinity. It can cast a few spells, including Dominate Monster and Plane Shift to escape. It has the standard ability to attack with tentacles, like Mind Flayers, the standard Mind Blast ability. Also, if a creature is incapacitated near it, it has the ability to create psychic links. And you don't remember exactly what it can do if that happens, but you know it's a bad time. Mind Flayers themselves, they basically have two MOs. Pulses of psychic energy, as well as if they defeat a creature, sort of drilling its brain out and killing it instantly. Do also have access to that same Dominate Monsters spell, which could be a bad time. I think, like, the only other thing I could think that you could maybe try to figure out would be what the carvings on the... well, let me think here. Give me 2 more checks, an Arcana check and a History check. Okay, nothing additional off the Arcana check, but as you watch the things that are getting toted through the room, it's reminiscent of alchemical equipment, or actually, it more reminds you of the kind of things that your father worked on. He was an engineer, and he often tinkered with, just like honest contraptions that use the laws of physics properly to do rather impressive seeming things. And you think there's something of the sort going on here, although you notice maybe some odd little doodads that might be channeling some kind of magic as well. In any case, you're getting sort of a laboratory impression out of some of the stuff going through.
Okay. Well, with that, I think that's enough information. I will relay to everybody and see what you guys want to do from there.
At that point, Cenarian says, "Oh, thanks, Colleen. I actually didn't get into that location with my own scouting. And for what it's worth," he shrugs, "I wasn't able to locate the person we're looking for, although I can rule a few spots out." And he sort of draws a rough map on the ground, and he says, "She's not," and he gestures to sort of these 4 large enclosures, as well as this area up top, which actually was a prison where she was held the first time that you guys were here. So that basically narrows it down to she's either in here, in that place where you scouted, but just not in that room. She's in whatever this thing is, which Cenarian says was sealed up and he couldn't see with the spell he was using. She's over here, or she's like somewhere more random, or maybe down one of these side tunnels or something. And hearing what you said, Colleen says, Well, that's interesting. If they're trying to study her powers or benefit from that somehow, she certainly might be there. Can't assume it, though. He looks up at Kirill and says, well, no, and actually says, one more thing, though. That place is crawling with mind flayers. In fact, he looks around at you all. You are all rather strong, but it may be best for you to stay here and hide.
Stay here and hide.
We'll get the girl, and if we can just count on you to be here when we get back, I think that'll be for the best.
Should we make a diversion?
He looks and says, actually, I think that's what we want to do. Kirill's...
Can I pat my giant snake? But I got this big snake.
Kirill raises an eyebrow. We're all impressed.
Wait till you see what it can do.
Let me show you its features.
I slap it. This thing can fit so many mind players.
Okay. So with this, then, is anyone opposing the let the creation spirits do it plan?
I mean, I would like to be of assistance, but it's up to you guys ultimately.
So, let me get this straight. You want to create a diversion so that we can find the girl, or are you doing everything and can just sit back?
Kirill steps forward and says a bit more forcefully, we mean for you to sit back. We're less interested in making a diversion and more interested in simply being more interesting than you.
Ouch.
I liked it better when you were rocks.
Huh. Can we trust you to behave?
I look at Kane.
Can we trust you to
Take it.
make him... she looks at Kane as well. You know what? That's a great job for you all. She points at Kane. Don't let him do anything stupid.
Take him with you.
She looks at you. Take him with us. She looks at Kane. You know what? We'll take him with us.
What could possibly go wrong?
Don't worry, we'll stage a rescue. When the time comes.
She looks at Kane. How do you feel about it, Kane? Ready to redeem yourself? I'll
He's
let you
irredeemable.
imagine Kane's response.
Kane the Redeemer.
Alright. So, at this point, again, if there is no further objection to the matter, I have something special that I'd like to do. You know how sometimes when you play a video game, you'll have like one character who you control for most of the game, but every once in a while, you do a little
Dibs
side
on Lacidel.
mission. Okay.
Rude.
I mean, I was actually going to offer it to Colleen first, based on...
I've had that zone since inception of Colleen.
Alright, you should see a character sheet for Lacidel, Colleen, and if you look at it, you should be able to see Lacidel's features. I'm just going to go, for want of a way to discriminate, I'm just going to go in order of tenure with the game. Fowlin, would you like to
Oh,
take
boy.
Kuril or Cenarion?
I'm not sure what the difference is.
Kuril is the eldest of the three. She is the creation stone of body. She's the one who's sort of been taking charge most of this time. She's basically a Yandere. And Cenarion is the youngest of the three. Sort of has you know, sort of reserved, sort of wisdom to him.
I say
More
let's
dreamlike.
reel them all.
All right, you get Kuril, and you should be able to see that character sheet now, and that means
I can.
Didja, I will give you Cenarion. Also, I slightly hate the image that I got for Cenarion, but it was literally the best thing that I could find online because, and here's the thing, it's probably for the best, but there's not an awful lot of fantasy artwork of young boys, so.
It is for the best.
I'm trying to figure out how these character sheets work, like the spells. It's just like, yeah, here are your spells.
Right, so I made them as NPCs because even that took me a long time, honestly. But yeah, so, and hopefully, I know I gave everybody copies of like the player's handbook, so you might just need to like open that up. Some of the spells are in Xanathar's as well. If you need me to shoot you a PDF, I will give you that.
Let me get my book. No, comic book, come back.
However, I'm adding some tokens to the map. Oh, and also Kane will be coming along. This is convenient because just in case we go past this week, now Kane is there, and we can see if he survives this.
It doesn't have to.
I mean,
He's gonna be like, how did I get here?
like any potential encounters here are rated for these monsters that you're now controlling, and we're just casually taking Kane with you. So,
I like it.
I can't see my character sheet, Casey.
Let me check.
Damn, I forgot I got all these great comics.
You know what? That's why. How about that? All good?
Yep.
And I'm giving you guys control over these tokens as well, just so we can indicate where you are on the map. And I'll just give you a moment to acquaint yourselves with the characters.
I like it. Hold on. Spell.
So incidentally, Colleen will be pretty familiar with Lacedel's basic personality. The only thing I will say is because these are NPCs most of the time, I've sort of defined their personality. I'm going to mostly just let you guys decide what they do. If you do something that's like super out of character or against what they're attempting to do, I'll overrule. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Basically, you are trying to
We're playing a
rescue
Telltale
Liriana.
game.
What?
We're playing a Telltale game.
Well, I'm not going to tell you everything that you have to do. Only thing to mention, due to earlier events, Kuril is down 1 level 6 spell because she used transport via plants to get you here so quickly.
I feel tricked. How many spells do I have?
I mean, you have 8 more at level 6. I mean, I'm just going to sort of take a break, get some water, go to the bathroom. Again, let me know if anyone needs a copy of the Player's Handbook or Xanathar's. But I'll give you a moment to acquaint yourselves with your character sheets.
Is there actually a spell called Weird?
Yes. It's actually not a great spell, but, well, okay, it's not a great level 9 spell. I'll put it that way. It is a good spell, if not for the fact that it's level 9.
Can't get this camera.
Huh.
Can somebody read all mine?
Read all yours?
I'm just kidding. There's just a lot, and I don't play enough to know all this crap.
Gosh, this is so much.
I can conjure weapons, ranged or melee.
I'm playing Psychic Ezreal right now. It's great.
I multi-attack.
Do you
Can
guys
cast
have an
Heart of
ability
S-
called Reposition?
No.
No.
Oh,
I've got Heart of Stone. If any creatures within 15 feet of me have to make a DC 25 con save or they're petrified.
I can
And
put any creature to sleep in a 30-foot cone on a DC 27 Wisdom save, and they can't be woken up unless they're Greater Restoration.
yeah, same thing on my spell, but it's DC 25. And then I have Creation Magic Body.
Mine is Soul.
okay, so I have Prismatic Wall.
Sounds
Yeah.
pretty.
I know what
Yeah.
that spell does.
Yeah.
So,
I've dealt with that before.
yeah. So once we find the girl, I can just Prismatic Wall until everything's dead and we can get it.
I've got Unseen Servant, Enlarge, Reduce, Create Food and Water, Fly, Haste, Thunderstep, Giant Insect, Polymorph, Pass Wall, Bones of the Earth, 10 Days Transformation, Transport via Plants, which is what we must have used, Wall of Thorns, Temple of the Gods, Control Weather, Tsunami, Storm of Vengeance, and Time Stop.
Ooh, Time Stop.
I should read.
Yeah, if you like, a lot of the spells you can kind of imagine what they do based on the names. But if you want me to just like quickly look something up for you, I can. I apologize. I was working on this until like 11:15 last night. Like setting up these things is hard, and I kind of ran out of time to like actually give you all the spell text.
Jeez. This is gonna be a hell of an encounter with all of stuff. It's gonna be awesome.
Time Stop.
God, we
Give me a
get
sec.
10 level 8 spells per day. Jesus.
So I'm just gonna wait and let you guys absorb. So just let me know when you're ready.
So guys, I have Meteor Swarm.
Also, just because it's sort of tucked away at one corner of the sheet, everyone has a reaction as well. So don't miss that.
Yeah, I saw
Flash step
mine.
once
That's
per
insane.
turn. Once per turn at any time. Can use a reaction to teleport up to half of my speed.
So, Casey,
Mm-hmm.
I think that since Kane is bringing down the world and the rest of us are saving it, we should receive a gift from each of the deities we play. A power of theirs. And Kane should get nothing because he's also missed a session.
I'll take that into consideration.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying, I would love this character's reaction.
who wouldn't?
Did I tell you mine?
No, you didn't.
Check this out. This is nuts. Come on, resize. You can do it. Sorry, I'm looking at too many things at once.
No worries.
Okay. It's called Reposition. Once per turn at any time, Cenarian can use his reaction to move another creature 10 feet in any direction. An unwilling creature can make a DC 28 strength saving throw to resist this effect. Y'all too close? You're too close. You're too close.
God, I can't even. I'm trying to read fast. I'm not reading every little bit, but mine's a lot of weather.
There's a lot going on these.
So do you all think we should just come in with like meteor swarms and weather spells and just hit an area?
Might kill our intended person we're gonna save.
That's the thing I'm the most worried about. I think we should just hit the areas we know she isn't, just to take out mind flayers.
I'm
I
missing.
will point out one thing that might be useful to you, to Cenarian. Don't forget your lower level spells as well. There are some things that might be useful.
I don't have. My spellbook doesn't have Temple of the Gods or
Yeah. So some of
Pen
these are
saves.
Xanathar's spells. They're not in the normal player's handbook. I can shoot you a PDF of that.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I need that because I also don't have tensors transfer.
Yep, that's in there
transformation.
too. Just a sec.
There's tensors floating disk. You know what I mean?
All right, here we go. And let me upload this. You know what? I'll just put it in the main channel. Is what I'll do. So that anyone who needs this. Oh, max file size is 8 megabytes. That's annoying. All right.
Use snipping tool to screen cap it and post it in this code.
Well, I mean, it's like multiple pages of spells. So I'm just quickly finding the. All right. Oh, you know what?
I feel like I'm just playing KC.
Yeah, I guess I need that for spells.
Yeah. Just a sec. I'm gonna quickly test a download to ensure safety of said download, and then I will send you the link.
Also, I have locate creature, and I'm pretty sure we can use that to find a girl.
Okay.
Probably.
Yep. This is where I got it before. So I'm posting a link in the Discord. Boom. You can download it from there.
KC, while we're kind of prepping, can I cast locate creature to find this girl?
If she's within 1,000, so it'll tell you if she's within 1,000 feet.
Okay.
So you'll learn if that's and actually, you know what? Yeah, you can cast that like any number of times. So and let me okay. So she's not within 1,000 feet of you. But what I will do real quick is because do you want me to just assume that you're intermittently casting this?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just put up a little thing like that. So I should notice if you get to within 1,000 feet of where I know where to be.
Yeah, so unless like we're in combat and I have to use my action to do other things, I'm casting this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm good to go though, whenever.
I'm just making a mini spellbook right now.
So hopefully this was obvious, but you cast all the spells at the level indicated. So like if you cast sleep, it'll be a 4th level sleep.
Okay.
I was really, by the way, when I was setting all this up, I originally even thought of this idea because I knew Kyrian wasn't going to be here, and I was thinking of like how to set up for 3 people, and I was like, oh wait, this is perfect, we can do this. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, but what if we don't get through all of it, and then Kane comes back? And then Fowlin was like, take Kane with you, and I was like, perfect!
We're now gonna buff Kane into a god.
No, he's just Kane. Good luck surviving this. It's not like I rated these encounters for, like, demigods.
Uh-huh. Okay, I mostly know what those do.
Although, actually, it occurs to me, considering a couple of the spells that Lacidel knows, there's a certain way that this could go that would be hilarious.
Lacidel, he's basically clean. He's got a bunch of illusion spells, a bunch of necromancy spells. It's great. It's exactly as I would have it.
That one's not very good.
Let's rock and roll.
Hold on.
It's okay.
Reading
I knew it would
fast
take a
as I
moment.
can.
These are complicated.
Just wing it, man.
I'm okay with that too, but hold on 1 second.
I mean, just like you did some strategizing, Didja, like, there's a little bit going on for him too.
Oh shit!
I feel like I'm
I don't know
playing
what I
the
just did.
Zorius deck. Which you and I both know is right up my alley. And yours.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I love Order Luke's Resilient Sphere.
I'm not.
Yeah, you can cast that like a cantrip. Like it's
No,
still
I can.
concentration, but
I can keep reading while we start.
Is it concentration? Does concentration affect us?
yes,
Okay.
R is still affected by concentration, even with all of the godliness that I have bestowed upon you.
Man, Kane Smith, what were you gonna do if there were 4 of us?
If Kane was actually here, I was okay. I'll tell you, I was literally debating having Fabrizio turn into a beetle and sit on Kirill's shoulder this entire time, and that could be Kieran. But now Kane's going with you, so it's perfect.
He's gonna spend most of his time running through the woods to get there.
Okay, so that one does.
So I can move as if I'm plane shifting.
Wait. Which thing are you talking about?
As an action, Lacidel can cross the astral plane as if by the effect of plane shift.
Right. So basically, because the creation spirits are so tied to the astral plane, you have the ability to, like, kind of like some spells let you step into the neighboring region of the ethereal plane. You can do the same thing with the astral plane. Now, that can potentially take you any number of very uncontrollable directions, but you have
That's
that
what I'm worried
ability.
about.
I will say, and you would know this being Lacidel, I don't recommend using that unless you have a very good reason.
Yeah. I'm trying to imagine the situations that would be useful. It basically gave me a tricky illusionist, and I have no context for how to wield this power.
Oh, is she playing Jace?
Not really.
Oh yeah, Jace is a mind mage anyways. Whoops.
Yeah, well, I mean, so she's got mostly, or actually, if you were to study the character sheets, you'd realize what I did with the spells I assigned them. Every single spell that Lacidel has is either illusion, enchantment, or necromancy.
Which is basically what Colleen does already. So
And I'll go ahead and spell it out since I started down this path. Kirill has all conjuration and transmutation. Cenarion has divination. Why am I blanking on this? Evocation and abjuration.
interesting. I feel like we all got appropriate characters.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I know a moment ago, Fallon said just go ahead and go. Are we all good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy
that should
for
All right,
it.
cool.
be okay.
Well, so where are you guys headed?
I would like to move to like here.
So, sort of skirting along the edge of the mushroom forest, and it looks like trying to approach this center building.
Yes, but slowly.
Oh,
Okay,
jeez.
And just casting that spell when necessary.
right. So let me ask, as you guys walk, are you walking along the outside, the interior of the mushroom forest, or are you going towards this path down the middle?
So we have a fly speed. Can we just fly at will?
You have a fly speed.
I do not have a fly speed.
Ah, can I just fly at will?
Yep.
I am in the air.
Like, how far in the air? At a certain point, you become visible, so it matters.
Just on the cusp of the mushroom forest, like just below the canopy, just
Okay.
enough to fly, because I
Okay.
can.
All right. But once again, I do have to ask, like, what path are you guys following? Are you going down the center aisle? Are you going through the interior? Are you skirting around the outside edge?
Skirting along the edge for me.
I just followed him.
Okay.
So.
All right. So yeah, let me see here. Let's go ahead and everybody make stealth checks. We'll see if any of you can, you know, Kane is usually the gold standard for these stealth checks, so.
So
So let's see if you can beat a 20.
plus 19.
What ability uses stealth dex?
Oh yeah. So for you guys, it's just gonna be. Oh wait, how'd you do that? I actually don't know.
I clicked on stealth. In the
Oh,
character
that's right.
sheet.
You actually have it specifically listed. So yeah, if you don't have the ability specifically listed, you can just click on Dex.
Dicks.
Nailed it.
Wait, you can roll a 9? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you pass through. You skirt along the outside of the mushroom forest. Lacidel actually is not particularly quiet. At a few points, sort of like steps on, some fungus that's sort of strewn along the ground, and it's enough to make sort of a muffled crunching sound. Kirill shoots him a glare. Draws up, walks a bit more carefully. Luckily, you are not, in fact, accosted to this point. Let me. Oh, although actually, you know what? As at one point though, as Lacidel sort of bumps into a mushroom, were you gonna say something?
Can we communicate with each other telepathically, or do we have anything like that?
Actually, no, I don't believe so. Not
Okay.
natively, anyway. I want.
Damn,
Let's see.
Colleen should have bonded with before they went off.
I forgot to. I forgot to have you all do this actually. So let me back up. Everybody make a nature check.
Oh,
Which
shit.
should be intelligence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I clicked nature.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
All
Got
right.
it.
Okay. Lacidel, and actually, so I'll say this. Lacidel and Kirill, you both realize, and actually, as soon as they mention it, Sonarin, you pick up on it quickly as well. Something's up with the mushrooms of this forest. They appear almost ready to burst, as if you just bump into them slightly, spores will go flying everywhere. And Lacidel in particular, you realize that something's wrong with them. You're not quite sure whether it's some sort of disease or poison or something like that, but you think the mind flayers may have altered these things. So at the expense of giving up the cover of the forest, you might want to walk just a little bit outside.
I will make that suggestion to the rest. It's not a great idea for us to be in this mushroom field.
Well, should I fly up and get a higher point of view?
I think we just need to step aside.
So my spells level 4 that say at will, there's endless supply of those.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I grab Lacidil on the arm. Boosh.
I don't. What are you
Okay.
doing?
I hit fly. Fly. It didn't work. I thought it would work.
Yeah,
Fly
Alright.
didn't
they're
work.
just all in
You can
one
fly.
box
So
together.
I could cast
Sorry.
fly on it.
Okay, well, you can all fly now.
All right.
Moral
So
fly
should we
mode.
go up and over?
Word.
All right. We're in the air.
Okay, so you fly over the forest. Everyone give me perception.
Which would be
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
It just worked on all these checks so far, so I was just hoping I could
Yeah.
click fly.
So as you look back, Cenarian and Kirill, you notice that there appears to have been some sort of small ambush set up in the forest. It's just a few Durgar, but definitely you would have run into it if you just walked straight down the center. That being said, you do fly up above the forest. As you start to get towards the end here and settle down sort of on the ground right about here-ish. It just occurred to me. 4th level fly can only target 2 creatures. I'll just imagine one of you carried Kane. You touch down here.
we made him
and
walk.
yeah, right. And what? Lacidel, and I'm queuing off your stealth check from earlier. You flew a bit high and were spotted. You are attacked by 4 mind flayers, and we're just going to do this theater of the mind style. So basically, you're at the base of this area right here, and there were 4 of them just sort of randomly walking down this path who happen to notice you. And they turn and attack. So I need everyone. See, and actually, let me just grab a little thingy
Quick
here.
question.
Yeah.
You gave me an ability called Consequences with some flavor text, but I'm not sure what the consequences are.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, I
actually,
saw that too.
I'll say that there's a couple Quaggoths here as well. So they're just coming down from the central building. They see some intruders. They attack. Oh, whoops, and I forgot to throw up the initiative tracker.
Casey, as we approached here, did my spell blip anything?
Not at this time.
Okay.
All right. Let me set up notes here. So,
I can't wait for Kane to come back next week and be like, what is going on?
Alright, so there are 4 Mind Flayers and 2 Quaggoths. Quaggoths are 21. And this is, you're probably at this point about 100 feet away from each other. Or 100? I'll call it 60 feet away from each other. Both sort of in loose clusters. Oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to write. I meant to write that. Okay, and let me roll initiative for Kane. Come on. Open up Kane's character sheet. There we go. And initiative. Whoops. Kane gets a 20. All right. Okay, Cenarian is at a 26. Why are there decimal amounts?
I think it's their points because it'll break ties.
Oh, okay. So I set that up only for.
I didn't. Do I need to roll some? Oh,
Initiative.
Right.
Nice.
no big deal.
Jesus.
The first of firsts.
Don't worry about it. No big deal.
Guys, we're gonna be so spoiled after this.
I know.
Yeah, these are just our characters now, and Kane gets to keep being Kane. He's now our butler.
So
I have to cast more spells than Eldritch
Cheryl.
Blast to do.
And Cenarian's at 11. All right. So, yeah, like I said, you're sort of in loose groups. They're about 60 feet away. Kirill, it's your turn.
Okay, sorry. I want to look at my character sheet I just closed. Can I conjure weapons?
So that's your melee version. You'll have to run into them to use that.
Whoops. I guess my 20 is gone.
All right. That being said, who are you targeting with this attack?
The Mind Flayer.
But like, which one? I'm sorry. Never mind. Which one? I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah. So, what kind
Lightning
of weapon?
Spear.
All
Lightning
right.
Spear.
All right. So you sort of wave your arm through a motion, like pantomiming the thrust of a spear, and some distance away, and sort of an oversized, sort of like lance-sized spear crackling with lightning appears and skewers one of the mind flayers. Go ahead and I think you should be able to roll damage. Oh wait. Yeah. Cool. And you deal 49 damage to it. I'll just track the.
Well, I also multi-attack.
Uh-huh.
Says attack 3 times.
Yep.
So
Get him.
Well, you have to actually re-roll the attack to see if you hit.
oh, okay, sorry, my bad. I thought
Yeah. So it's just standard multi-attack. Okay, that also hits. Okay, 36, huh? Let me check something here. So this is going to be... okay, so your second attack you make against the same Mind Flayer, and you do in fact down that one.
Oh, okay.
So that will take it to here. And then you make a third attack. You hit as well one of his companions. And so that's going to be 24 damage. Okay. So you mess him up a bit. All right. Are you... Again, you're just sort of in loose clusters right now. Do you want to do any kind of movement or other actions? Do you want to like spread yourself out from the group? Do you want to approach them?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm the I'm this one, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just sort of doing it theater of the mind style, but yeah, you can definitely
I know.
sort of represent it generally.
I did. Okay, yeah. Moved away a little bit.
Okay, very good. Oh gosh, what have I done? All right. Hopefully it still works. Okay, cool. Anything else for you?
No, I'm good.
All right,
That's
that
fun
will
start.
bring us to Lacidel.
There are 2 more mind players,
3 more Mind Flayers and 2 Quackoths.
and they're all just kind of clustered about.
They're loosely clustered. They're all within sort of 30 feet of each other.
And how far away are we from them?
About 60 feet.
All right, I will just start my phantom bow volley at the one that Fallon left off with,
All
or
right.
Kiro.
Yep, fire away. So Lacidel just pulls up his arms, and you see this phantasmal bow just appear, and he fires off a bolt of pure magical force. And you will be able to line up. Are you just doing 2 Mind Flayers again?
Yeah.
All right, so that will deal 24 to the first, and then an additional 13 to the second. So that's going to be, let me see here. 4 plus 13, so that's 37. Okay. All right. Yeah. You fire off a second one that hits as well. So that's going to be what? 19. Another 27. So a second Mind Flayer is down with that attack. This one you can't quite line it up for 2 of the Mind Flayers, but you will skewer a Quaggoth with this. So it's going to be 32 to the Mind Flayer. So it's going to put it to here. And another 18 to a Quaggoth. All right. Anything further on your turn?
I will stick my tongue out at them and make a face. Seems like the last Adele thing to do.
Lols. Okay. Cool. So that will bring us to the Quaggoths, which actually occurs to me with them being quite so far away. Can they get to you? Okay. The 2 of them are actually going to approach 30 feet, and they will both take a dodge action. And that will bring us to Kane, who is going to go after the wounded mind flayer with his bow.
Who's carrying him?
He's on the ground.
He's on the ground now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we could throw him.
How much damage would a cane deal? Okay, so he hits with that. And actually, how does assassinate work?
You know, he could just levitate with us, right? Can he just do that?
If they haven't acted yet,
Yeah,
I
he has
think it's-
advantage. So that means he gets sneak attack. So that's going to be... Come on. Roll damage. Roll 20 is not cooperating. Can you guys click on the thing? Oh,
No.
that's why. I'm not used to being a player. Okay, so 9 damage there. Oh, come on. It's because I clicked it too many times. It opened a window for every single time. And then here's sneak attack. So that's 24 total damage. Okay. Yep. So Kane fires his arrow, downing the third mind flayer, and he says, 1.
So what's left?
So there are 2 Quaggoths who have approached and are sort of in between you and the remaining mind flayer. And then there's just the 1 mind flayer left.
Okay. Hold on, looking up a spell. Oh, God, I can't spell. Okay, so all right, so targeting the mind flayer, I'm gonna use chain lightning.
Okay.
To then hopefully also hit the Quaggoth.
Yep. Okay, so let me remind myself. I'm just keeping track of how many spells you have left, since I know I don't have that functionality set up here. So Chain Lightning is one of these. Okay. So you only have 14 level 6 spells left.
I know. I need to use them more sparingly.
All right.
You guys are making me feel bad. I don't have 14 of anything.
Everyone has different
Jeez.
advantages.
And Casey used one of my spells.
Okay.
Well, tell me what mine is, so I can.
Target must make a dexterity saving throw.
What's my advantage? I want to.
Your advantage is you are in some ways the most mobile. You have the most powerful basic attacks, and you have a couple abilities that do things that the others just actually can't do. So yeah. Also, you have time stop, which is really good.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny.
All right. So chain lightning. Target must make a dex saving throw. This is gonna be funny.
What's my DC? 28?
28.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, it's 28. So like,
Okay.
you'll only see 1 DC across all your abilities. That's the DC for just pretty much anything. All right. So here's the Mind Flayer's attempt to evade this chain lightning.
Nice.
That's gonna be a fail. So go ahead and roll that. 10d8.
Does it get any pluses?
No, it's. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Spell modifier or anything?
No, it's 10d8.
Okay.
Oh, and actually, the Quaggoths get saves as well. So let me roll those.
46.
So Quaggoth is gonna be over here. They get also a +1. So, again, do they crit? Nope. Okay, so 46. Actually, this Mind Flayer is still up. However, yeah. you just immediately crisp both of the Quaggoths. So Quaggoth's down.
Okay. Then I have movement.
You do.
I have a move speed in the air of 50 feet.
Indeed.
I'm going to fly up.
Okay.
Probably 10 feet.
Okay.
And so that's 40 left.
Mm-hmm.
That is not very much. I'm just going to inch.
I mean, this isn't precise. Like I said, I'm sort of theater of the minding it. So
I'm going to inch closer to the building so I can get in better range to cast the spell next time.
okay. Good enough. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Kane, being Kane, I forgot about his movement, but he probably would have sort of backed off a bit, I imagine. Okay, so the Mind Flare, I think, yeah, we're going to Hail Mary here. Kirill, please make a Wisdom saving throw, as it is going to attempt to cast Dominate Monster. Also, you have spell resistance, so you have advantage on this. Or magic resistance, I think. So, Fallon, that's you.
Sorry, say that again. was
Wisdom
reading
saving
something.
throw with advantage, because it's attempting to cast Dominate Monster on you.
Good call. I hit wisdom. I don't have a.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yep. So if you don't have it specifically marked, then just the appropriate check will be the same thing. And as it turns out, a 21 is more than ample in this case. So that will fail, and it's gonna run. So I'll just do this to indicate that. So it's now a bit further away from you all, but that's it. And Kirill, it's your turn. What kind of weapon?
Same one, just it's the only ranged one, right? There's a flame sword and a hammer.
No,
and a
so what you're
spear.
actually literally doing is, like, you're just gesturing where you are
Oh,
as
the
if you're
weapons are
attacking with a
showing up
melee
there.
weapon. And the weapons are showing up by the creature. They're just sort of
Oh,
popping into existence.
Thunderhammer then.
All right, yeah. So and so basically this is slightly anime, but you're basically conjuring oversized weapons just right by the creature and smacking it.
That's gotta be scary as shit. Oh my god! It's.
So
So I
yeah.
hit it once. Do I need to hit him again?
Well, let me see. So 47. No, you don't need to hit it again. You conjure this giant hammer, and it just thunders down on this thing, and it's mangled. Like it is flattened, like running over a unfortunate animal with a car, kind of flattened. So yeah,
Awesome.
you've taken care of everything. That being said, everyone give me. I guess call it perception.
Which is wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Does any one of us actually have perception as a skill?
No.
I do. Well, no, I have it. Wait, I do. Yeah, plus
Yeah.
This
17.
character also has performance skills, much like Quiz.
Plus 17.
So, Kirill, the mind flayers in the city do not make a lot of noise in general unless they intend to. But you hear the distant sounds of motion throughout the city. Also, everyone give me Arcana as well.
What would? Yeah, okay.
Intelligence.
I keep opening my
Yeah.
Fallon character sheet first. Which one is Arcana?
Intelligence.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. So, and Lacidel, you pipe up. There's an elder brain. Every mind flayer in the city is telepathically linked. We have to hurry.
Should we get the elder brain?
Now I'm back to you guys being them, so.
If we run into it, I don't see why not.
All right, so Syrian's gonna fly and cast locate.
Okay,
Elder
yep.
Brain.
You are still locating. You still do not sense the person that you're after. That being said, you do approach this building. Now, in terms of ways to go about this, there are doors on the sides of the building, and you don't see them being guarded, but that far from means that they aren't. I will mention, just because you would think of this, well, actually, you know what? No, let me let you guys play.
Okay, so
Can I use my Thunder Hammer to break the roof open so we can just look in?
did I get a blip?
You do not get a blip.
Okay. Well, should we just get rid of the source here?
It
To make it
may
initial-
be best to avoid that until we have the girl safely.
It would be the
She's
fastest.
not in the building.
Yes, so we should go find her, priority number one.
Well, if
One consideration that you would all be aware of, I'm not saying you have to do this, but just in favor of what Cenarian is saying, is that right now, all the mind players in the city are telepathically linked. Without the Elder Brain, they would not be.
Yeah.
So, okay, with that in mind, I'm just gonna cast Meteor Swarm.
Okay. All right, let's do
Okay.
it.
Listen, you gave me the red spell. I'm gonna cast the red spell.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right. How large of an area does this affect? So
40-foot radius.
So it's only a 40-foot radius sphere. This
Okay.
building is significantly larger than that. Now, based on what Colleen said, you do have a pretty good idea that the pool is basically in the center of the building. So even if you don't quite hit it, you should at least open like a gap to hit it. If you just target the middle.
So, okay, I have 4 different points I can drop it in. So I'm gonna start at the point closest to me, and just every 40 feet should essentially get the entire building.
Oh gosh, you're just casting it
Carpet
multiple
bomb.
times to carpet bomb it?
No. The spell says I get. It's 4
Oh.
points. 4 different points you can see within range.
Oh, okay. So, got it. So, let me see. 40-foot radius sphere, that means 80 diameter.
Yeah.
So, you can get, like, the building's about 400 feet across. So, that means that you can get about 80% of it.
Sure. I want to get as much of the building as I can.
So, okay, so you have 2 options.
Never mind that we're under.
You can either do sort of a line across the center of the building, or you can do a cluster, like put 4 points to like cover the entire middle of it.
Let's shoot for the middle.
Okay. All right. With that in mind, I am going to make a bunch of saving throws to see how the various beings inside do, because they do get a saving throw as they sense this coming in. So let me see. It's a Dex saving throw. So here is the Elder Brain. You are going to target with this. Okay, I know that to be a failure. So Elder Brain, fail. And then, let me see. There's probably going to be about, yeah, I'm going to say... Alright, so let me just see what they would need to succeed. And actually, come to think of it, yeah, given your DC, they're just going to need to crit, basically. So, I see no 20s.
Nope.
And one more. I also see no 20s. Okay. So all of those dice that I rolled are creatures that you are going to hit with this.
So, okay, cool. So they take 20d6 bludgeoning damage and 20d6 fire damage.
Right. So I am going to say this. They are going to be protected somewhat by the roof, but also the roof is going to cave in on them. So I am going to reduce the bludgeoning damage by half, just saying that the roof takes a lot of the brunt of it. But roll 20d6 fire and 10d6 bludgeoning.
Okay. Here's fire.
All right.
And there's bludgeoning.
Okay. Let me see here. So it's going to be...
I think Casey typecast us perfectly.
I wish
I actually let you guys
though.
choose.
Typecast. Predictive typecasting.
Yeah, right. Okay. So Cenarian basically gives the old, wait a minute, guys. You hold up your hand and you just carpet bomb this entire building. There is now, like, the roof is basically caved in. You can't, because you just hit the center of the building, the walls are still standing. You can't right now see exactly what you did because the building is probably about 30 feet tall.
Anyone else want a shot?
You know what?
That felt really good, by
Screw
the
it.
way.
I'll cast Storm of Vengeance on top of that.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus. Are we burning our high level spells here?
Just one for me. I've only got 3 though. I can only use 3.
I have 4 more of those.
All right, so let me...
I get 5 per day.
I get 3.
Can we just play these characters?
I'm glad you're enjoying this. It makes the, like, 10 hours that I spent putting together these character sheets worth it.
Well, I better use the spells then, huh?
So-
Storm of Vengeance.
Yeah, so Storm of Vengeance.
That's what
Let
I'm
me
thinking.
Remind myself how this one works.
It's 360 feet area.
Jesus.
Okay, so it's roughly the same area, actually a little bit more, as what Cenarian just did. Where is...
Lightning flashes, thunder booms, strong winds. Each creature under the cloud must make a con save. On a failed save, they take 2d6 thunder damage and become deafened for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I can't fly anymore if I'm doing this, by the way. They're both concentration.
Right, right.
So I'll
So
land
this
on the ground
lasts
again.
for a minute. Okay. So...
And each round I maintain it, there's additional effects.
Right.
So, hold on. Meanwhile, Colleen, Quiz, and Fallon are like off in the woods doing God knows what. And all of a sudden, just meteors fall from the sky. Storm.
We're comparing odd trinkets from our packs.
Is that what we call it now?
Right. So I am just going to sort of handle this cinematically, given the vast amounts of damage that have been done here. So let me just make a note of something here real quick. Okay. Right. So, yeah. So this storm is currently raging. Are you continuing to approach the building? Are you flying up so that you can see what's going on? What do you think?
I mean, I hit the storm on it. I'm just holding it there. I can't fly anymore because I'm concentrating on the storm now.
Right, but I mean, what I'm asking is anyone trying to get close in any way to see what all this is actually doing, or are y'all just watching
Sorry,
this building burn?
I was thinking of it as a initiative turn thing.
Oh no, it's not. Sorry, we're
Yeah.
not
I mean,
initiative.
if he's done like a big storm here, I'm not gonna fly into it to see. I'm gonna wait for it to pass before we fly over.
Yeah, the only thing you could do
Well,
if you wanted was fly up so that you can see down in.
that'd be
Like-
that would be a good idea, so you could see if there's any of them still alive. So I know how long
Could
to
I
keep
fly
the
over the
storm
storm
going.
so I'm not affected?
Yeah, or you can just like fly outside of the affected area, but still close enough to see down into the building.
Sure,
Okay.
I'm doing that.
All right, and I'll just imagine that the rest of you are sort of on the ground, but still like approaching and staying roughly there. Cenarian, you fly up and peer down into the building. Actually, let me go ahead and just since I prepared to this, had you actually gone inside, something like this might
Why
have
would
been
we
what
go
you saw.
inside?
However, in fact, what you see is the shattered remains of this, as I mean, pretty much it's been annihilated. You see the mangled remnants of mind flayers and quaggoths spread across. You do also notice, with a tinge of regret, a variety of other creatures. You see some creatures that look like elves, perhaps drow, considering your setting. A few bodies that seem like dwarves. One outside of the worst of the storm might actually be a Quotoa. It appears that they were performing some kind of experiments or research on a number of imprisoned creatures here. But all that is pretty much wrecked now. You can see inside to the chamber that once housed the Elder Brain. You don't see any remains of it. Given your pre-established knowledge of these creatures, one of two possibilities. The less likely possibility is that you utterly annihilated it. The more likely possibility is that it survived the initial onslaught, and sensing the danger, it does have the ability to plane shift onto the astral plane. That would have the effect of disrupting the telepathic communication between all the mind flayers, and that is something that it can only do once a day. But it does have the ability to escape in that way.
Okay. So we think it disappeared.
Well, right now, just Cenarian, but
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna fly back down and say, well, I think it got away, but it's off this plane, so we're good.
Cool. Why leave the storm going?
all right.
So we know these these 5 buildings don't have her, based on what I said, right? I was the one that said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you used Arcane Eye to do some scouting.
Do we know
Cool.
what these were over here?
Some time ago, you visited that spot, like back with the original party, and you found sort of that was where there was like a cave. You got attacked by a roper. You found a cave. That's where you found the original sending stones.
The roper that killed me.
Oh. All right, so are you heading that direction?
I don't
Yep.
remember that.
And locate person.
You mean
Okay.
you got down?
So let me see here. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna say at this point, you've killed the Elder Brain. There wouldn't be much more than scattered mind flayers here. I'm going to say you don't encounter much resistance as you all make your way over here. And actually, I think that that's a good place to end tonight. As you approach this stack of towers, if Colleen and Fallon were here, they would recognize what Kane now recognizes, which is that when you were here before, let me switch over to the other map and remind you what you saw before. You saw something like this. There were fewer of them. There were intricate carvings swirling up them in an unfamiliar script. I think you even recognized them to be the beginnings of some sort of magical conduit. Had no idea what the runes meant, but something going on there. As you approach this time, Kane realizes that he's no expert on magic, but this
Isn't he
looks
though?
much more finished, much more symmetrical, every surface covered in runes, and altogether more imposing. Also, you still haven't found Liriana yet. Locate person. And that's where we end for tonight.
Should